farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. This week here in Victoria we went into stage 4 lockdown for COVID-19, so it's been a bit of a weird feeling. Honestly, not for me that much has changed. I've been working from home for quite a while now, so that has continued and nothing has really altered there, except that I have to really think about when I'm going to take my trips to the post office so that they coincide with the rest of our essential shopping and so that I'm not out of the house for too long. What has been super obvious though is how quiet the roads are. I thought during the stage 3 restrictions that it was quiet, but now it is like super quiet. With the 8 p.m. curfew, there's just like no cars on the road at all, and it is deathly quiet at night. Being in the country, there is literally now nothing going on. No street lamps buzzing, no other dogs barking. It's just our little farm and that's all we can hear. So I think once we kind of get back to some kind of normal, it's going to feel extremely loud. And something a little bit trivial really, but kind of exciting for us, was that we had food delivered. We had takeaways and we had them delivered to the house, which we've never been able to do before. Most local takeaway places never offered delivery, or if they did, it was a crazy charge, or we were just outside of the area where they would deliver to. So we've never had that opportunity before. But this week we gave it a try because now there is delivery available and it's free, and it's obviously a much better way to be able to get a meal than to have to go into town. So we still had to give some fairly specific instructions because our driveway is not lit, it is long and is a fair way from the house. So we arranged to meet the driver at the top of our driveway at the gate, which made it a bit easier, and we were super excited that he called in advance and found the house and that we got our food. So for all those in the city who take those delivery services for granted, for us it is a little bit of an adventure, and we were quite excited. And now to a bit of regular farm stuff. So exciting news with the shed and with my workshop space. All of the lighting is now done and it looks amazing. We went over and tested it at night because obviously that is the biggest test of how it's going to look, and it is really bright, really even, beautiful light. And we also have installed a floodlight out one side into the veggie garden and where the path is going to be. So it has just lit everything up and it is going to make for a really great and useful space. Still waiting on getting the final power points installed. With all of these restrictions, things have been delayed a little bit. Our electrician is still able to work, but obviously under the new COVID safe rules. So once he is able to schedule our job in based on all of the requirements, he will be able to come out and finish that off for us. So given that, hopefully by this time next week, I will be completely set up, have everything plugged in, ready to go, and I should be able to give you a full workshop tour. And I may even end up recording over there. It depends on how the sound is going to be. It may be a little bit echoey and I haven't figured out the microphone recording setup just yet, but I might give it a try and see how it goes. And a little fun thing that we did was to cut Seb a bike track into one of the paddocks. He's obviously schooling from home again, and in his spare time he can't just jump out and ride on the footpaths or any paved areas because we just don't have any. And he thought it might be fun to try riding in the paddock, and he did, and it was not too bad, but we thought it would be easier if we could cut a path, like actually make the grass really, really low and then drive over it a few times to kind of compact it down and create some loops and a little bit of a circuit so that he had somewhere to ride. To get him away from the gaming and the screens for a little while and get him outside. And so he's had a try at it and he seemed to enjoy it quite a lot. But now it's been raining for the rest of the week, so the paddocks are back to being way too wet. But a few dry days and I think he should be able to get out there and try again. We might even be able to cut some more sort of paths through the middle of what we've already done and make it a real little circuit for him. Well, I'm not sure how it happened, but we made it to the middle of the year and I thought it was time that I looked back on my plans for the year for my business to have a bit of a review and to work out what I was going to be doing for the next 6 months or so. And obviously my plans from the start of the year have had to alter a little bit because of the whole global pandemic situation. What I really needed to do was kind of just set the reset button, look at what I had done, and kind of now set myself some big goals for the rest of the year to really tick off some of the things that I've been probably procrastinating a little bit on. So I'm part of the Thrivers Circle. I'll put details below. And Jess had just gone through how to do a planning day. And so it was a really good time to stop and do my own planning day. So I bought myself a few snacks. This was before we were in complete lockdown. And I moved my chair around so I could have a different view, because obviously I couldn't go somewhere, maybe to a cafe or a library to do a planning day, which would have been ideal to kind of step out of my normal situation. I switched off the social media, tried to keep out of my email. I actually printed out a calendar and decided that it was good to do something on paper rather than to do it electronically, at least to begin with. So I did some brainstorming, wrote down what my priorities were and the different steps that I was going to take, and sort of figured out where I was at and the things that I still needed to do to get those things done for the rest of the year. And then once I've done that, I then put it into my Trello and I put them all into checklists in order. And now each day I can just pull a task out from there, tick off a little bit, and then gradually work through it. I think I was sort of just getting into the everyday stuff, processing orders and kind of sort of holding back a little bit because I have been waiting to get everything done in my workshop. But I need to move myself forward and do some of the more in-depth work, like all of the back-end stuff with my website and updating all of my product photos, and all of that stuff is quite focused and takes quite a lot of time. And rather than try and incorporate it into like a regular day, I think I need to start actually setting aside chunks of time to do one of those tasks so that I can progress it along and not get interrupted with other things. Setting aside some real planning time has given me a new focus. I have updated one of my priorities because it's no longer something that I'm able to do right now because of COVID-19. So thinking about different ways that I can build my business that will fit in with the current environment, but will also serve me moving forward as well. So I'm excited that I took that time and that I now have a plan for the next 6 months. I decided that after a couple of serious days of planning, I would reward myself and cast on something new. Something that I've been wanting to start for a while. I bought the pattern quite a while ago and I tried it with some yarn and the colours just didn't work. And the other week when I was looking through my stash for sock yarn, I found these 3 skeins of yarn and they were all the same base, and I thought that they might work for the project. So what I've cast on is the 3-colour Cashmere Cow by Joji Locatelli. It's fairly narrow cowl, but it's very long, and it's got different stitch patterns, and obviously it's in 3 colours. So I found this yarn. It's from Highland Handmaids, and she doesn't dye anymore, but I was in her club for a year, so I have still quite a lot of her yarn in my stash. And there were 3 skeins that were all of the same base. It's a merino cashmere nylon, and I've started with this blue, and then I'm going to use this, like, it's a dark reddish pink with sort of brownish tinges. And then I'm going to add in, oh, that one's blowing out just a little bit. It's a light pink and purple. So that's sort of more the pop. And in the pattern, she uses 2 tones of grey and then a bright greeny yellow colour. So I thought that that would be the good pop to go in. So hopefully they do come together looking good, the 3 colours. I've started the first section and I've done the blue, and I've just started on the 2nd colour there. And I'm liking it so far. There is a little bit of concentration. I'm still knitting on the 2nd pair of commission socks as my just sit and knit, not having to think. This one has some eyelet patterns and then it changes into something else. So a little bit naughty, because I was sort of thinking that I'd try and get some stuff off the needles, but I just had to cast something else on. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.